So I just want to review how we put this tile down in our bathroom. You want to start by putting down HardieBacker, which is like a really thin concrete board. And that's really the best part for your prep. And then you want to pick out your tiles, and on the back of your tile box, it's going to tell you the size trowel that you need so that you know exactly how the stuff that connects the tiles to the HardieBacker needs to have certain width lines in order for it to make the right contact. So you want to make sure that when you pick out your tiles, you take a look at the information on the box so that you know exactly what you need to buy for the adhesion piece so that the tile adheres to the HardieBacker. And then it's going to tell you also the size of your grout lines that you're going to need. And then you can pick out the grout color that you want that goes on after everything has hardened. So the tiles I'm using are the doll tile. They are the octagon with the gray dot. If you use white grout, the gray dots will stand out. We're going to use gray grout to make the white stand out. It will be a nice look to it. But there's some things you want to keep in mind, and I'll go over those. For one, you want to use 1/8 of an inch spacers, and you want to use the spacers on the gray section, not the white section. So when you butt your tiles up to one another, use the spacers right here in the gray spot, and that will keep them distance well. So I decided to cut off from here over to do my starter so that the threshold would sit evenly and I wouldn't have to do any small pieces right on the heavy traffic area. The other thing is you want to use a trowel that is 3/16 by 5/32 V-groove. And a lot of the questions that I saw online was, can I use this on the floor? Number one, this is a floor/wall tile. And the other thing is, what size spacers and what size grouter do I use? So that's what size trowel I mean. So those are the things I covered. The other thing is I also use spacers against the shower so that you have enough of a gap there. And this shower rounds, so I'm going to use a contour tool as I get out a little further, but I'm going to do the straight pieces first and come across so that this is all even. I cut in around all the different areas where the trim was going to be, and then after installing the trim, there's a little gap between the trim and the wall. So I'm going to use some caulking and put that in there and let that dry, and then I will proceed with the next coat of paint. Once you put the bead of caulk there, you want to take your finger and make it into a smooth line, and then just use a rag to wipe off the excess. But you want to make it a nice smooth line, and your finger does the best job with that. Not too much caulking. You want it to be nice and neat, and because this is your finish. And then once that dries, remember using Alex caulk. Once that dries, you can make a really nice, clean seam with your paint. What I found is a really great idea is if when you're done with your caulking gun, you just take a wire nut and you screw it on the top. It keeps the end from getting hard and keeps your caulk from clogging up. So then the next time you want to use it, you literally just unscrew the wire nut and you're ready to go. So I ordered this really great vanity cabinet for more storage. It's a wall cabinet for the bathroom in our cottage, and I got it off Wayfair. So it comes in a box and you have to assemble it. So we're gonna go over how to assemble this beast. You wanna make sure that you organize all your parts and take a look at the instructions and make sure that you have all the parts and familiarize yourself with all the parts before you even get started. So it's 31 inches from the corner to the shower. The cabinet's 24 inches wide, so that gives us an extra 7 inches. So we need to come off the wall 3.5 inches and then start our cabinet so that the cabinet is centered on the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the little template. I'm going to put the template on the 3.5 inch mark and make sure that it's level. So I will go ahead and do that. So it's 31 inches from the corner to the shower. The cabinet is 24 inches wide. The template is 17 inches wide. So I found the center of the template. I found where the center of the wall was, and then I made a mark on the template and the wall so that they lined up. Now I'm just going to do my anchor holes on the template, and then I'll install the cabinet using the template. So I have placed the anchors according to the template on each side. There's also a stud right in the middle, and I'm going to make sure I use a nice long screw in the middle and find that stud. There's also a stud on either side of these anchors. I'm going to put nice long screws in those as well. So this is how the bathroom is coming so far. I've installed the towel bracket. I have the light fixture still to go in. I've installed the paper holder, and I really like how the cabinet came out. I think that will provide some nice additional storage in this little teeny tiny bathroom. So I'm really happy with how the cabinet came out, but I just want to share a couple of things. Instead of just screwing to the anchor bolts, I found the stud, and then I used a GRK screw, and I put that through the center of the cabinet. I just didn't trust only using the anchors. And then down here, I used a little trim screw about 3 inches long to get into the stud as well. But then once I mounted the cabinet, just to be totally truthful with you, it's a curved shower, as you can see, and there's not a lot of space here. So my biggest concern was the door hitting the glass when it opened. So I found out once I mounted it, I didn't think of this ahead of time, that if I just mount it a little higher, the door will hit the frame before the knob hits the glass. So now that I have it all installed, I'm actually going to move it up a couple of inches so that if the door does hit anything, it hits the frame of the shower. But I do like it. It matches really nicely with the vanity. You know, they're kind of a set. And I think it goes really nice in here with the space. So I am going to move it up just a few inches so that when the door opens, it hits the frame of the shower, and then I'll still have some room for a couple of towels up on the top. But all in all, I like how it came out. So it's roughly 7 inches from the corner to the shower extra. So you're going to take 3.5 on each side of the cabinet. So you want to make sure that you are 3.5 inches off the wall. You also want to make sure that you are level. So, oh dear. Well, that's not going to work.